Good afternoon and welcome to the COVID-19 webinar series, Learning Through Leading, Creative Productivity, Digital Innovation, and University Life During COVID-19. Brought to you by the Jakarta Post and Tenggara Strategics with the support of the National COVID-19 Response Acceleration Task Force. My name is Putri, a researcher in Tenggara Strategics, who will be your host for the next 1.5 hours. Today's event will be moderated by Tenggara Strategics Economics Team Coordinator Stella Kusumawardani. And we are also already joined here today by three wonderful speakers who will share their experience in running and leading university organizations during the pandemic. Before we start, I would like to keep reminding everyone to continue following the 3M, which is first, memakai masker, second, mencuci tangan dengan sabun dan air mengalir, and third, menjaga jarak serta menjauhi kerumunan. Wear your mask, wash your hands with soap and running water, and maintain a safe distance. So without further ado, I would like to give the screen to Stella. Stella, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Putri, for the introduction. Good afternoon to our virtual audience. My name is Stella Kusumawardani, the Economic Team Coordinator at Tenggara Strategics, and I will be your moderator for today. Welcome to the 11th episode of the Jakarta Post and Tenggara Strategics webinar series on COVID-19. This webinar series is in partnership with the Indonesia's COVID-19 Task Force. We have been together for 2 months in this webinar series, and for this episode, again, we'd like to put the spotlight on the university students and recent graduates. The COVID-19 pandemic has substantially affected students' learning experience, not only in classroom, but also in their extracurricular activities. For that, we have three speakers today who have led transformations in their organizations to maintain learning quality for university students, not only in Indonesia, but also globally. Therefore, I would like to introduce our first speaker for today. He is a recent graduate who has been active in working as a partner of a global innovative startup at the crossroad of education and consulting. Let's welcome Rivaldo Geregurki, partner of Share. Hi, Valdo. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Stella. I'm good. How are you? Good afternoon.
I'm good. Thank you very much, Valdo.
Happy to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you here as well. I would like to tell our audience here a bit about Valdo. Rivaldo, or as we call Valdo, was recently promoted as a partner of Share Indonesia office due to his outstanding performance growing local firm into the best branch worldwide. He has wide experiences on partnering with various clients, such as in the property, energy, tech startups, NGOs, and others, in making their business cases in Indonesia. He has also an experience working as a project consultant under top-tier consulting firms. Previously, he has worked as an in-house consultant for the top Indonesian conglomerate, where he focused on developing the company's new business, an online marketplace for cars, used cars, and property. Prior to that, Rivaldo also managed a consulting project with a client from one of the biggest energy management and automation company, both in Indonesia and globally. He graduated as the second most outstanding student in Universitas Indonesia's Faculty of Engineering. Such an amazing achievement from Valdo, and it's our pleasure to have you here again, Valdo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I would like to introduce our second speaker. We have a student who has been actively promoting learning in capital market studies through training programs as well as global competitions. I would like to welcome Michael Abraham Hukom, President of Indonesia Capital Market Student Studies. Hi, Hukom. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Castella. I'm good. It's an honor to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you here as well, Hukom or Michael. Well, how would you prefer me to call you? Is it Michael or?
Yeah, you can call me Hukom. That's fine.
All right, thank you very much. Hukom is a third-year student studying finance at the Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Indonesia, with a passion in financial modeling and data, winning several equity research competitions in his spare time. His experience has ranged from an internship in a Harvard MBA-led startup to recipient of a full merit-based scholarship from one of the largest banking institutions in Indonesia. Trusted by his colleagues and his major student organization. He is currently acting as the president of the 20th Indonesia Capital Market Student Studies, the biggest and the oldest capital market event held by students in Indonesia. Through his role as a president, he is seeking to educate young Indonesians to learn more about finance and capital market so that they can utilize their knowledge as a pathway for financial empowerment and well-being. We have an amazing speaker here, one from the consulting sector and one from finance sector, but we also have one more special student joining us as a speaker today. He has the responsibility to organize a major event in an industry that is one of the most affected by the pandemic, which is music. Now let's welcome Naratama Raja Lubis, Project Officer of Just Goes to Campus, or JGTC. Hello Raja, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Castella. Hello, everyone. It's a happy and I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you, Raja. It's our honor to have you here as well. Welcome to our webinar. Naratama Raja Lubis, or as we call Raja, is a final year management student at Faculty of Economics and Business Universitas Indonesia. The love of music and his dedication have brought him to many exciting projects and was entrusted to be the project officer of the oldest and most celebrated jazz festival held by undergraduate students, the 43rd Jazz Goes to Campus. Besides his outstanding non-academic achievement, Raja also managed his academics as a student of an accelerated program in his high school, and he has proven himself to be a dependable person by his surroundings. Thank you very much, Faldo, Hukom, and Raja for joining us in our webinar today. It's our honor and also our pleasure to have such amazing students, and also for Faldo, recent graduate here joining us. And before we start moving on to how they manage to transform their organizations to improve learning experience for university students, I would like to repeat our MC's message to practice 3M or 3M, memakai masker, mencuci tangan, dan menjaga jarak, serta menjauhi kerumunan. Wear your mask, wash your hands properly, and maintain safe distance. Before we begin the session, I would like to invite the 3 speakers for a photo session. Is the IT team ready? Okay, let's take a picture then. 1, 2. One more time, 1, 2. Okay, thank you very much. Did you get that? All right, okay. Yeah, the IT team has confirmed. Thank you very much. So let's begin our session. We would like to invite our first speaker, the recent graduate who has made amazing achievements, not only in Indonesia, but also globally, Faldo.
All right. Wait, let me try to share my screen and let me know if you're already able to see it or not. All right, Stella?
Yes.
All right. Can you see it right now?
Yep, all good.
All right. Can I start?
Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, the audiences, also Stella and everyone from Jakarta Post that already give me a chance to share this. But actually, maybe one of you or some of you already saw this also in our LinkedIn from Syariah Universitas Indonesia when I was serving the society from the firm, right? And yeah, thank you for already introduced me, Stella. Right now, I'm working still on Share as one of the equity partner that own the share of Share. And actually, this month will be my last month serving at the firm. So I'm very glad to share this to every one of you guys. So I think you guys can see a lot of faces today in my screen, and that's actually there's Raja, there is Hukom also in this one screen. This one screen actually I can say describes that the amazing people, amazing student leaders that I saw by myself, that they are the leading samples of what I always say as a committed people, as what I always say as conscious people and leaders that actually, that's not shaken by the COVID-19 effect, yet they improve and adapt, to the pandemic situation. And that's why I say that, my father always said to me, there are two type of people in this Indonesia that, have the most freedom degree. The first one is pras. The second one is university students, or in Indonesia, we always say as mahasiswa, right? And there's also, I state in this title, I wrote Corona and Students, Tiny but Mighty, How Leaders Keep Running the Organization and Comedy in the Midst of Crisis. And again, before I would like enter the first page, I would like to thank you to all of the people, all of the faces that I put in this screen, or maybe I not put today, because you guys are amazing. You guys succeeded to lead your team, motivate your students, motivate your juniors to keep moving with you. And what most important is go bigger than the COVID-19 itself. So yeah, let us get started. So I think this is just a preface of the update of the world condition of COVID-19 cases around the countries. We see United States of America, I think, more or less cannot deal with COVID-19 cases. I mean, even there's one of the pandemic expert called Dr. Anthony Fauci there. They keep still, keep shaken with the condition. There's Italia, Spain, Malaysia, Singapore. In share, we do benchmarking with them because we also had a Asian economic recovery project, and we always see to Singapore, of course, because they're dealing with it with really good methodology. They have such a strong team to lead. Yet Indonesia, as the model that my team made here, there right now today, as per today, there is 618,000 cases. I think the cases mean of that death and also that got sick, right? And this kind of thing really affecting the students, of course. And we tried to at that time talk to UNESCO, try to talk with the people that in charge in the education ministry, and we try to do a market size how actually the total numbers of affected learners in Indonesia by the school time. And if you see the tertiary is actually the university students and it's around 8 million. And you can see this is the helicopter view of how actually it affects on the academics. Of course, the lessons going the online, quizzes, exams, all things is going online, right? Even like extracurricular, basketball going online, soccer going online, lessons, quiz, and exams, and many things. And in UI itself, actually, we already implemented the distance learning system effectively from 18th of March. And the latter of decision made by our university officials says it should be the end of this semester, and also already issued policies, right, to force students to cancel all of the non-academic events, or maybe you can change it into the online events. And more or less in UI itself, there is more about 150 canceled students on March and April. And this is also why actually this study, comes from, because we want to encourage the student leaders in University of Indonesia and also around the nation to keep moving and to analyze, to push themselves that they can grow and go bigger than COVID-19, right? So let us peel the onion a little bit. So if we try to see the perspective, you cannot say that, okay, your organization could do this, this, and this. You are students, you just cancel it, We cannot, as a leader, we cannot just say that into our juniors, right, and to our committees, because as leader, we are responsible to give them learning, to envision ourselves that we are able again to be bigger than COVID-19. And one of the best way is looking to the characteristics of organizations and communities, and as you can see, you can segment it into the academic competition and seminar, non-academic competition, art event, social event, and student affairs and organization. Academic competition and seminar is actually one of the examples, is the organization or institution led by HUCOM. It's called ICMSS. And also, you can see Just Goes to Campus, the photo that I took from Google. It's one of the examples from the art event, right? And non-academic competition is just, it's like sport competition, social event, charity, and student affair is like share, or maybe student council, or in Indonesia we say it BEM, right? To make it easier. And as when we try to analyze how actually the possibility to of every student leaders to change the format is it's very various, right? I mean, if in academic competition and seminar, they can do a lot of kind of things, but non-academic competition, as you can see, they need to push it offline, or in the worst case scenario, they need to postpone it. And art event, I guess, but I think let us hear more about the Just Goes to Campus, a letter by with Raja here, and the social event as well, and also social event. Later on, I'll give the example how actually the social event can transform the offline charity event into the online charity event. And the student affair organization, I'll tell you also later on. And what actually the key insights here is the most the easiest, right? The easiest I say organization that can change the format, I guess it should be the academic competition, because they can make it the competition become online and the seminar become online. Everything goes online, right? But the hardest that the organization that I think will feel the toughest battle is maybe the art event, because it's very hard, to keep the nuance, to keep the excitement from the audiences, from they're already expecting us to give, like Just Goes to Campus. Everyone waiting for Just Goes to Campus, because that's one of the celebration before every university students go to last exam, right, on the university exams. But it will change a little bit, or even a little bit more, and the impact also real big on the art event. So I think if any one of you would like to learn from this study today, it will be really good, right? So yeah, so this one is also the characteristic of the organization committee, based on the type of funding, participants, activity intensity, and some of the influentiality of the institutions or organizations, right? I can say actually I think you kind of look some of similar graphic of the activity intensity of each types, except the non-academic competition and organizations, right? And yeah, on the actually all of them are using sponsors, except social event. Usually they finding donors, and student affair organization they find the money from faculty officials. And the participants, I think a lot of actually the same. What actually make it a difference is just the type of the activity intensity. Well, actually non-academic competition and organization, it curves like that because the intensity increased due to the frequent practice or pre-events. Yet the other ones, the most intensifying activity will come at the final day, because they need to make, as you can see in the left part of the photos, gala dinner, seminar, and getting participants, there are ushers, and that kind of things, right? Oh yeah, by the way, this study is coming from, we already interviewed almost 50 and until 100, about 100 organizations and university institutions. So here comes the pattern. All right, hold on. Right, so with similar effects are applied, we also can identify this one as external and internal factors, right? So internal factors we say that might affect the team is the cohesiveness, motivation, coordination, and regeneration. The cohesiveness, we can say health in team building. It's very hard because in UI, or maybe I guess in every campuses, every one of you, it's one of the most waiting moment, I guess, with all of the participants. Like I know ICMSS, JGTC, they go out of the cities, or out of Jakarta a lot of times, and thank God, Sherwi, that time before COVID-19, the pandemic happened in Indonesia, we got a chance to go to Bandung at that time. So that's also what the most destructive thing that can affect it to every organization and institutions. The second, the physical distance creates gap compared to seamless face-to-face interaction, because team tends to be more open when they see their leader in front of their face. When it's not just see, but when they listen to their leader and their colleagues, engaging face to face, right? And on the motivation, of course, this also what happened, I think, a lot of in an organization, because every organization and institution that we interviewed, they always say that they face a moment where their students always ask, Bang Faldo, are we really gonna doing this next semester? Or are we just gonna bail on this, or will we cancel this? So I cannot put this on my CV. So what will I do? That kind of things. There are a lot of uncertainty. It's not just physical uncertainty, but there's a mental uncertainty, and there's also a leader need to overcome with their juniors. And the coordination also getting hard, but I think with a lot of technology we can cope with it. And I think this is also one of the most considered part is the regeneration, because what I believe is the most success leader is not it's just creating the organization really good under their under their leadership, but also continuing the baton of leadership, right? And yeah, there's a face-to-face interview process needs to be compromised, affective experience and knowledge transfer. And the one thing actually that could not be left also is the limited time for current organizers due to the newer responsibility, right? So these are the external factors also. I think the one that I can spot the most is the sponsorship, right? And later on I also talk about how actually we can keep we can gather sponsorship from big companies, even when they have hard times because they are hit by this pandemic and COVID-19, right? So yeah, I think the partnership, it's clear, is more or less like sponsorship. The administrative affairs, I think we itself already adapts the way. We don't need to go directly to the office. We can do it online. And audience and participants, it's also, I say here, a targeted number of audience is unreachable. It's hard, but yet I guess somehow because it's online, it's also an opportunity for us because we can gain more, right? Because the mobility and the remote thing that help the audience to come easier to the event. So, yep. Oh, yeah, one last thing, because there are a lot of international events like ICMSS and Just Goes to Campus. The immigration issue, right? It's very hard to invite the external, the foreign delegations and foreign guests to the event. So here's the thing. Yeah, so sorry for this framework. Maybe it's a little bit, foggy here. So yeah, the top priorities you can see is the number 16th, 10th, 20th, 17th, 5, 21st, 12th, 4, and 8. So I think I'll just focus on the top priority and what actually you can eliminate. I mean, the less priority based on the prevalence, the difficulty to solve the issue, and the impact to the organization and communities. Right. So I think the one that we should want to talk about is the difficulties to find sponsors. How actually you can deal with it. So how actually shall we deal with it? And we already suggest and recommend this solution to every organization is by, you can ask the companies to do a project to help people from their CSR budget, all right? And you can say to them that, all right, let us, process let us the one who run the CSR project for you. We will make these kind of things to help the COVID-19 suspects or whatever it is, but we will take the operational margin. You know what I mean, right? So that's one of the ways. The second one is also, right, for example, this is also what Sharwi did is we can propose an education and also like a paper producers, a pencil producers and that kind of things that can help the remote people, remote students to study, and we can help them to distribute, that kind of things. That actually the easiest way, right? The most 80-20 way. And also there's the second one is an effective experience and knowledge transfer. It could be helped actually by giving it's like lead by example. It's like, all right, I'm right now I'm leader. I try to find who is the potential one, and I ask them to follow with me, to come sponsor with me, directly guide while you have the lifetime of your leadership in leading the organization or institution, right? But okay, this one, right, we can see this more into the regeneration that I talked before, how actually you can deal with the face-to-face interview that is compromised, and the effective experience and knowledge transfer and a lot of that kind of things. Oh, by the way, BPH or BPH is it's like Badan Pengurus Harian, or I can say the second layer of leaders. The first one usually is PPI, Pengurus Inti, it's like the board of directors, and it's like the managers lah, it's like directors. And yep, that I can say is you can create position in guidance, guidebook, footage, clear blueprint, and also you also can do create cross-functional projects with the output for audiences, and you also can do things like focus on extensive participation in activities regarding the modified job descriptions. You can see all of the main points here, and also it's accessible on in the internet. I'll focus more on the sponsorship that I think I already talked about this, right? To reduce the budget, I think it's simple. What most important is coordinate with the partners and sponsor to initiate CSR program for companies. It's like you can use the like what I said, using the CSR program and put the margin as the sponsorship, and also as the incentive. You can send the incentive for you because you already do a project that help the company to also contribute to the pandemic or COVID-19. I can say healing. So the next one is I think I think I'll expand that my presentation here. On the academic competition, you can make a light online introduction game. In Share, we do a lot tebak gambar. I think it's not all of the members like it. I mean, I'm the one who like it the most, so I put it here, tebak gambar. Maybe you guys ever watched the series in Net TV called Ini Talk Show, I guess, right? Or yeah, oh no, Tonight Show that hosted by Vincent and Desta. They do that kind of things, and I think that's also one of the traditional game that could be digitalized. And on the art event and social event. I just push this. Okay, like this. This is a portfolio on the portfolio. It's more like prototype. How actually we in share we make it. So you can do this kind of things like on online art exhibition, right? And yep, this also the things in the virtual class. We can do virtual classes for academic or job fair event, right? I think there are a lot of institutions already make this. So by the way, Stella, give me just one more minute, right? So what are the conclusion here is more like how actually leaders keep running a organization and comedy in the midst of crisis is you don't forget to maintain bond with your team. You know, you put people first and keep focusing on regeneration because next in line matters. Maintaining relationship with your external party is also the most important thing. Keep negotiating, on the budget, on the CSR budget, and create a creative program that help the companies and make it be, you make yourself be able to collaborate with the companies to make a COVID-19 healing project. So you also can take the margin. I think this one I can just explain it on the Q&A session. Yeah, but the last thing that I would like to say to every leaders, to every student leaders is, when the COVID-19 comes, this pandemic comes, you don't push your personal interest. You know what I mean, right? You don't ever try to push everything like you want before, because on this thing, I think what most important is not our personal interest anymore. I always say this to my people or to my juniors is it is public service over personal ambitions. It is good conscience over impressive achievements. And I think right now is doing the right thing is not always about fulfilling our self-defined aspirations, but about taking care of our people and continuously giving impact to the society, whatever it takes. I think, yeah, that's it from me. Thank you, Stella.
Thank you very much, Faldo, for sharing the share study regarding students and Corona, how these activities have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. It is a very insightful study. I also learned some of new things here. For example, when you talk about student activities, you actually characterize it into different categories, and each of these categories is affected by COVID-19 in different ways and in different magnitude as well. We have academic competitions, non-academic competition, art events, social events, and student organization. And COVID-19 affects this different types of activities differently. And luckily, we have Hukom here, who is, I believe, the representative of the academic competition and seminars. Am I right? Yes, and also we have Raja as a representative of the art event here. And I'm very happy to have two of the organization leaders here. But before moving to the next speakers, I would like to point out what Faldo has explained to us before regarding the internal and external factors. So thank you, Faldo, for explaining to us that one of the most affected internal factor in student organizations is cohesiveness, how COVID-19 has presented risk in the cohesiveness in a team. And when it comes to external factors, there are new ways we need to engage with sponsors and partners. And Faldo has also given us an example of how to deal with that. For cohesiveness, Faldo said that we can, one of the ways that we can do is that introducing new organization functions, and also tebak gambar, I think.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
And for the sponsorship, it was a great idea to be able to negotiate for their CSR budget.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Faldo, to share your insights with us. Now, I would like to welcome Hukom as a representative for the academic competition, and soon we would know how COVID-19 affects students' activities in this sector. Hukom, I welcome you to present your presentation.
Okay, let me share my screen. All right. Can you see the screen, Castella?
Yes, all good, Hukom.
Okay. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to Castella, the Tenggara Strategics team, and Jakarta Post for inviting the 20th ISMSS to share our insights regarding COVID-19 impact to our event. It is an honor to speak alongside Faldo and alongside Raja as well. And we do hope that we can give a lot of new insights regarding how we can adapt to the COVID-19 pandemic. And I also hope that everyone's watching is staying safe and healthy. Okay, so let me begin. So I'd like to begin by introducing the 20th Indonesia Capital Market Student Studies. We are the biggest and the oldest capital market event held by students in Indonesia with a vision to become an international center of capital market learning and empowerment for young investors. We do this by stimulating, generating, and educating young investors to invest in the capital market. How do we achieve our vision and mission? We do it mainly by conducting the 20th ICMSS Equity Research Conference, Capital Market Seminar, and Investment Training. We do our events from the Saturday, 13th of February 2021 to Friday, 19th February 2021, which is going to be 3 months in the future. Our event is specifically directed to society in general, but specifically for young and future investors. And we usually do our events at Universitas Indonesia, at our faculty campus at FEBUI, Indonesia Stock Exchange, and various government institutions to hold our events. So, ISMS itself has a 20-year rich history of professionalism, family, and elegance. And these three are the core values that direct our committee in conducting our operations and in conducting our event for during the D-Day events. So we usually abbreviate it to ProfGAN, professionalism, family, and elegance. Okay, so going deeper into our three main agenda. So the first main agenda that we have is the investment training. So in this investment training, participants will be guided by capital market experts to start investing in the right direction. So with this training that we do, we hope that society can discover the potential of investing in the capital market and try to invest in the correct way by learning from our invited speakers from prestigious brokerage firms in Indonesia. The second main agenda is Equity Research Conference. So Equity Research Conference is an investment research challenge for undergraduate students across the globe that is divided into three parts. So we have a qualification round that we have just passed yesterday, in which then we select 24 top teams to compete in the semi-final round. And then the top 24 teams will be further selected into six teams that will compete in the grand final round to win the Best Equity Research Team Awards. So what we do with the Equity Research Conference is that we want to provide a platform for undergraduate students with passion in finance to further develop their financial acumen and to also provide a networking opportunity for them with other visionary undergraduates and with prestigious speakers and capital market practitioners. And then our last agenda, usually this one brings the most participants and stakeholders, is the Capital Market Seminar. Capital Market Seminar will revolve around a capital market grand theme. This year we will be discussing a dissonance in the capital market world, and we have invited professionals in their respective fields. So the seminar will aim to enrich seminar participants' knowledge about ongoing issues both in economics and the capital market. Yeah, so as I've said before, our event will run from the 13th to the 19th of February 2021, and this is just the specifics for our agenda timeline. Okay, so going further, we want to talk about the 20th ICMSS and ICMSS regarding its target segments. So last year, at the 19th ICMSS, we are honored to welcome Faculty of Economics and Business students and apparatus, seminar participants, training participants, event committee, and conference delegates. So these are the proportions, and we do hope that this can give a bit of insight regarding the stakeholders that are directly involved in our event. So last year we held the capital market seminar offline at Faculty of Economics and Business campus, and we were able to invite more than 700 and more than 800 people to learn more about capital market at our capital market seminar. And then we also held the investment training at Indonesia Stock Exchange main hall room, in which we invited more than 100 people to study investing more specifically and deeply. Okay, so before talking about how COVID-19 has impacted the way 20th ICMSS works, I'd like to share a bit more about how we usually do our operations. So this is our team. We are 73 members currently, with 5 board of executives, 25 board of directors, and 43 associates. Last year, this is the team from last year. One of the last few chances that we had a chance to go together and have fun together in a pre-COVID-19 world. And this is our established organizational structure. So what we do at ICMSS is that we provide a horizontal matrix structure so that we can ensure a clear role differentiation and hierarchy between divisions, but relevant task forces can be built organically when needed. So as you can see here, at the top of our structure is our umbrella organization, Management Student Society FEBUI. And we, as I've said before, we have 5 board of executives, me as the president, and 4 of my friends, Haya, Almu, Aiki, and Hana, as board of executives. We also have our hardworking directors and associates. So I think Faldo has also mentioned before the term BPH. So in ICMSS, BPH translates to board of directors, in which board of directors consists of second-year students. And we recently just recruited our associates from freshman students of FEBUI. And yeah, me and my 4 of my colleagues are currently third-year students. So what we have here is that same color indicate direct chain of command, which means that, for example, me as president, I have direct chain of command for the conference programming and public relations division. So we have 8 main divisions that have different role and tasks. We have logistics, corporate relations, event, conference programming, public relations, delegate relations, marketing communications, and operations. So we have a clear role differentiation here, but when the time comes for any new task forces, we can build a new task forces consisting of several divisions. For example, if we were holding a management insight for current freshmen to introduce them to events at FA, we conducted a task force consisting of the division of public relations to provide the marketing gimmicks. We also invited the division of operations to provide accommodations, and we also invited some of our committee from other divisions to become master of ceremony at the management insight event. So yeah, so this is basically how we work, and this is our established grand timeline. So as we can see here, we usually start working from April. So me and 4 of my colleagues started working at April to groundbreak with our umbrella organization, and we usually the work ends at February 2021. So as you can see here, the work divided is quite divided by workforce and workload, in which at the beginning there are only 30 members of ICMSS, which consists of our board of directors and board of executives. But as time goes on and as freshmen enters FEBUI, we had the honor to recruit 43 new members so that they can help as well with our vision and mission. So Faldo himself has provided a graph that shows the workload at from his share report. And I think that translates really well here, in which from April to June, I think the workload was relatively low. We needed to, select our board of directors. We groundbreak a plenary with our board of directors. We did a relaunch and we did an internalization to see where our vision and strategic goals align. But I think it was still a brainstorming session from April to June, so that the workload is relatively low. But then from August to October, the period in which we started to recruit our associates, I think the workload began to pick up quite dramatically. And because especially since the D-Day event is quite near from in October. And then starting from November, I think a lot of events in February has this experience too, in which November is the critical month in which we started to invite our judges, our speakers. We started to approach prospective sponsors. We started to approach venues so that we can conduct our operations. And there are a lot of tasks and workload needed to be done starting from November. So I classified the work from November to February to be the most strenuous for our committee. Yeah, so we also have several established programs, mainly Thank God Investing is Fun, or TGIF, our weekly articles discussing relevant capital market events to educate and keep our audience up to date with capital market happenings. We release this every Friday. This is also an example of our task divisions that I've mentioned, in which in creating this TGIF output, we needed the division of conference programming for the substance, the division of marketing communications to provide the designs, and the division of public relations to promote and upload the substance and design to our social medias. And then we also have trivia back on Thursdays, weekly quizzes with the aim to stimulate our audience pursuit of knowledge. We also have For Young Investors. For Young Investors are bi-monthly infographics packaged neatly discussing a specific topic inside the capital market and financial world. I'd like to shout out my directors as well in creating this very informative and very aesthetically pleasing infographics. I think so. We have two slated for our event, which is Chartered Finance, which discusses chartered financial analyst profession and mutual funds in the capital market. So we want to, further educate our stakeholders inside the capital market and financial world. Okay, after discussing about the established programs, established structure, established workload, I'd like to share a bit more about how COVID-19 has impacted the 20th ICMSS. So I'd like to say that Kak Faldo and Cher's report was very insightful and very relevant to what we are currently experiencing right now. I'd like to divide the impact into internal and external factors as well. So internally, we have problems in cohesiveness, in which usually in FA, I think that there is a tradition of team building in which each division and each committee, they go somewhere to, conduct team building and to experience and to get to know each other so that they can increase the bond inside each division. We also had difficulties in welcoming and acclimating our freshmen at FEBUI, especially because we couldn't meet them directly at the campus. And then the physical gap lacks emotion and openness that is vital to our event values, which is family. And then from the motivation side, we also had problems in viewing what to do next to achieve our goals, especially since in the 20-year history, no one has ever experienced a pandemic in holding the events. Me and four of my friends, we have no one to, get advice on how to do this, because even the board of executives of past ICMSS has never experienced this pandemic. And then I think organizational culture and commitment has the potential to be hard to be planted. Our values, it cannot be translated as well in an online environment. From coordination, I think as we coordinate things online now, instead of face-to-face, it can become ineffective and less engaging. Job descriptions become fluctuative and our event goals also become fluctuative. Several divisions have lost original functions, for example, like our delegate relations team. So they are basically acting as our liaison officers, and they have a really vital job in keeping our delegates engaged in our conference. And as we are currently experiencing a pandemic, I think the DR division will have several problems in trying to keep them engaged, especially since we wouldn't be able to meet our delegates in an offline environment. From a regeneration side, I think that we fear that there was less enthusiasm from talent pool from the freshmen of FEBUI due to decreased engagement and exposure of our event. And then I think experience transfers has also become very ineffective. And then from the event format, I think this is quite possibly the most prioritized problem that we are currently facing. So the main agenda format and continuity of our event is still uncertain. We still currently is still brainstorming regarding how we want to bring our main agenda, how we want to achieve our vision, how we want to engage our stakeholders as maximally as possible. And I think that's currently in our #1 priority. And then, yeah, health and safety concerns forbids offline-based events of which ICMSS usually operates in. Externally, yeah, especially in funding, I think difficulties in finding funding sponsors due to current cost cutting is relevant. We also have physical gap, lacking engagement with sponsors, PICs, and as well as they become more polite. You know, they have higher standards to require from our side to give benefits to them. In funding, in-kind partnerships, also in unclear administrative affairs, and also we fear that interaction with audience and participants can be less engaging in the future, especially since the market of webinar has become very saturated. I think a lot of the time, the knowledge that the webinars want to bring is ineffective in transferring it to the people that are watching. And then the immigration and travel ban restricts delegates, speakers, and moderators for coming and to be engaged with the 20th ICMSS. But other than the impacts, we also believe that we have a lot of opportunities to explore. Firstly, the exponential growth of online and virtual communications. Chance to cut costs is much greater when the main agenda is held in an online setting. And then I think that the amount of spare time for each member has increased as they have less things to do during learn from home period, especially since everyone is staying at home, not traveling anywhere. There is a lot of time saved there. And then the pathway for innovation in terms of output has opened. Okay, so from these opportunities, I'd like to share on how the 20th ICMSS have adapted. So basically, we try to implement 3 key solutions right now. The strategy is 3R: reach, rescale, and retool. So we want to expand exposure, rescale chemistry systems, and retool the day events. So the first strategy, which is reach, we believe that the boost of digitalization in 2020 is an opportunity to develop programs of engagement and education. So we have a lot of new programs slated this year, especially regarding the opportunities that we can capitalize on. So first, this is a new program, ICMSS Reports. We wanted to broaden and educate our audience and young investors through a current hyped social media, which is LinkedIn. So we published a comprehensive report regarding financial happenings. So we've released 2 reports. First, talking about what happened during March when every stock market in the world experienced a crash. And then we also discussed ESG investing and try to analyze it. So the reports are released through our LinkedIn, and every participant here, feel free to scroll through as well. And then we also conducted a new program called Blue Talks. So Blue Talks is a digital audio and video talk show with several episodes conducted and planned with professionals in their respective fields. So we want to increase engagement, right, for our stakeholders. So we do this by creating a new video audio podcast. So our first ever Blue Talks was conducted with Pak Herman Kuswanto, in which we talk about the chartered financial analyst profession. And we are also planning to release another Blue Talk today, this evening. So yeah, this is one of the example of how we are trying to increase engagement and how we want to, continue to educate, continue to empower everyone, continue to empower as many as possible. And then, we also have a new program called ICMSS Webinars, and we also have an ICMSS investment course. So we utilize current webinar trends to create one-off events. So we want to, further again, our learning organization. We want to educate everyone. We want to educate the public. So we find partners, prospective partners, to conduct a webinar with them. So we conducted 2 webinars. First, talking about cryptocurrency, and second, about investment strategies. And I think this is one of this solution also is can help solve the difficulties in finding sponsors, especially since current companies right now they also want to touch young investors, touch undergraduate students, and they want to do it through an established organization. So especially here, you can see that these were our partners in conducting the course and the webinar. And I think the investment course was our most ambitious program yet. We conducted a 3-week course with PT Trimegah Sekuritas. So we wanted to, basically going back to our roots of education and empowerment. And then this is hashtag ICMSS 20 years. This was an online movement. I think this was a social media gimmick, I think. So we want to remember moments and relationships from the event that we love most. And we think that the 20-year milestone is very important. So we also, we did this social media movement so that freshmen and potential delegates can also feel a sense of our identity and values through current digital means. So yeah, so this is like a flashback for ICMSS, and it's easy. Just we ask delegates and we ask past committees to post stories, to post through their Instagram flashbacks of moments that they appreciate most from our event. And then we also did an online recruitment. So we conducted an online recruitment process using several videos to give an idea of what we do. And we want to advertise our identity and values even through online means. Okay, so, and then we also revamped our website, especially since we are going online now with an ability to conduct exposure of our event through offline means. So we needed, we realized the importance of a great website. So we revamped our website so that it can be a one-stop platform for our capital market education and resources, while we also provide all relevant information for all of our stakeholders. So you can find us at icmssfebui.com. Okay, so that's probably like our most implemented solution yet. And there has been a lot of results from this solution. So our reach strategy has boosted stakeholder exposure exponentially. So we have 500,000 Instagram impressions from our Blue Talks. We have a 75% increase in Instagram followers. From our ICMSS reports, we brought 1,346 unique visitors and an exponential increase in LinkedIn followers. We also had an exponential growth of international delegates registration, in which the number of international delegates who registered increased 2-fold. And then we also completed our associates regeneration, and we had an aggregate 21,000 Instagram TV views. So I think this is the solution that we are currently implementing. We are seeing results from it, and we will continue to do this solution. And then the second solution, which is Rescale, I think Kak Gere has mentioned, Kak Palu has mentioned about Tebak Gambar. Well, we also did virtual grand team building with our committee. You can see from at the bottom left corner, in which we tried to create a game. I think when Cavaldo said tebak gambar, this game is buat gambar gitu. Because we challenge associates and directors, we divide them into new teams, and we try to get them to know each other better and better by doing games through our virtual grand team building. So historically, the grand team building is held offline, but of course we are unable to do that. So we try to use online games as a way to still continue to increase engagement. And then we also still do personal team building sessions. However, we specifically enforce an at-home division-based team building because, as we know, at gathering outside can be very dangerous and can threaten the safety and health of our committee. So we try to ask them to, even if they want to build chemistry in their team, to do it as healthily and as safe as possible. We also are currently doing personal affection methods. We try to, especially since it is nearing Christmas, we want to do a gimmick called Secret Santa. I think everyone already know about the game as well. And then we also conducted virtual internal training. So we did an investment training. So usually when associates, they see these practitioners and capital market experts explain about investment, they become intimidated and less enthusiastic about asking questions. So we provide them a platform so that they can ask us, they can ask the directors, they can ask their executives, which are still, undergraduate. They are more inclined to ask questions, and we want to ensure that everyone in our committee to learn investing as well. And then we also try to plan staycations, division-based as well. And of course, we even any team building sessions, we want to help them to keep regard to health protocols. And then lastly, the retool strategy. So we have transformed several of our division's tasks to fit a new hybrid D-Day series. So we have also adjusted our sponsorship packages in order to maximize value delivery to our stakeholders. So I think this solution, I think we can only see the results after the D-Day events. But we are currently brainstorming a hybrid offline-online D-Day framework for our event. We also adjusted several tasks and work for our divisions. So I think for delegate relations, as they have their role in becoming licensed officers are currently prevented by the COVID-19 pandemic. I think they have become like a very vital division in helping other divisions do their work as well. So there's a lot of adjustments currently being made. We have also adjusted partnership packages. We try to lower what we request from the sponsors, especially since we know how every company right now is currently experiencing difficulties in their business. We have also benchmarked other investment events, like I think every other university in Indonesia have investment events. So I participated in an investment event held by Universitas Pajajaran. I also saw how Universitas Prasetya Mulia did their investment banking conference. And so we are currently still brainstorming and trying to gather as much info as possible so that we can transform and so that we can maximize engagement for our D-Day event. Okay, I think that's all from the 20th ICMSS. And I think just a bit of info. We are currently looking for event sponsorships, media partnerships, F&B partnerships, merchandise partnerships. Any participants with prospective, with curiosity to our event can contact the numbers and the emails listed here. Okay, I think that's it from me, Castella. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Hukom, for sharing your experience at ICMSS. we can see that ICMSS has been adapting very well to the COVID-19. There are established programs that you've done, such as the TGIF, FYI, and also the Trivia Back Thursday. I think those programs are still running well despite the COVID-19. And even with that, you still add some more programs such as the Blue Talks and the papers that you post on LinkedIn. So I think for the audience here who are interested in learning more about finance and capital market, you can check their website and also LinkedIn. They have very insightful resources from which you can learn a lot for finance and capital market issues and also progresses. And as Waldo mentioned before, I think it is to some extent expected of an academic activities that they can adapt well with digitalization during the COVID-19 pandemic. But I think the bigger question here is that how art activities are doing during the COVID-19. And to answer that, I would like to welcome Raja, the project officer of JGTC.
Yes, thank you, Castella. Let me share my screen first. Is it on?
Yep, all good.
Okay. Beforehand, let me inform the audience. My presentation maybe isn't as structured as the panels before me, but I may as well go with the flow as what they say jazz is like. So let me introduce myself. My name is Naratama Raja Lubis. They like to call me Raja. And I've been trusted by my college in the 2017th year to be the project officer of the 43rd Jazz Goes to Campus. And next, okay. Then first, let me introduce also FEBUI's best heritage, if I may say so personally. Jazz Goes to Campus. It is an annual event, International Jazz Festival, that is run and conceptualized differently every year because we are a committee that dynamically change, same as IC, same as Share. And the legacy, it started at 1976 with a simple and yet brilliant vision of to bring jazz to campus. That is what Om Chandra Darusman, our founder, made JGTC based on. So, and it develops, it improved every year till last year. We have 4 stages that can give you a whole better of that jazz experience with that affordable price, and it has been attended for quite a lot of people, till 20,000 people, and it is held in our university and Faculty of Economic and Business campus grounds, and it is within one day. So as I said before, it is first held in 1976, and it was initiated by the famous Om Chandra, Mr. Chandra Darusman, and it has brought many milestones to the jazz music industry. It has gathered more than 20,000 audience, exhibit more than 30 performers internationally, and even 30 performers in one day. And it is the oldest jazz festival in Indonesia and the first music festival in Indonesia who are committed to pay the performing rights. So based on the history of it, from 1976, JGTC every year have always run. It always ran, it always improved, it always is a festival that is awaited. Except for one year, that is 1998 to 1999, because that was the crisis. And as we feel right now, we are undergoing a crisis too, but we promise you guys that it's not gonna happen like back in 1998. There is gonna be the 43rd Jazz Goes to Campus. So for us, a competitive advantage of Jazz Goes to Campus, people like to see that when we say that it is a university-run program or event, and people is gonna ask, is it good enough? Is it gonna run well? Is it even gonna run? But I think being a university student and running an event this big, or as professional and clean as I see, I think it speaks for ourselves that even we can do it. Meaning that even we who are not really is paid for doing it can make this big event make as professional and as beautiful as the events that we make. Next. So same as other every other business and events, we also have our values that we are committed to. It's contrabass. Contrabass is an instrument that you see in the logo. That's a contrabass. It stands for commitment. We are committed every year to bring the best experience of bringing jazz to campus. It's a tradition. It's a legacy. It's a heritage. It's a heirloom that we strive to protect. We strive to give the best every year, and belonging. Every FAB student, I hope Hukom also feels the same, that Jazz that goes to campus is yours. It's ours. It's what it's our heritage. And the people attending or being in the committee also have to feel that way. And we also strive to bring the best out of professionalism, because we are a music festival, but we must do it properly and really structurally. So our vision, it develops, it improves every year till now, but it still has the core identity of what Om Chandra has stated statement of bringing jazz to campus. Maybe our vision right now for this year is becoming a festival that can introduce the many colors of jazz, the many sounds of jazz, because as we know that it's not that more rugged, rigid, jazz is never rigid. It's just like, or maybe people can call it old, but there is a lot of more colors and sounds to it right now. People are starting to make experimenting, fusing it with other genres, and that is our vision. And we want every other group or any other segments to really feel open about jazz, and that is our vision. And our mission, amongst others, are like disseminating jazz music, especially to the younger generations, to the students, because they are critical. We are, I say that we younger generation are also critical, even especially maybe for music, because we have our own genre, we have our ears, we try to criticize what music we hear, we try to judge people from what they hear. And the next mission is to take part in developing and building interactions between jazz artists and their listeners, their communities, presenting a jazz music festival with affordable ticket price. Until now, we still thrive, and this is our main guideline. The borderline of how we do things is to be affordable. Helping to develop young musician talents through Jakarta as a competition. It's still undergoing. Providing a forum for jazz music communities through jazz community session, because we don't try to make festivals for the artists that is already well known. We want the jazz communities, the small communities, to be known by the public also, and that is what we try for. Carrying out social activities that have impact on the surroundings through the Jazz Goes to Connect. This is something of an improvement this year, and I will get back to it later. Giving awards to the dedicated Indonesian jazz musician who contributed to the development of jazz music through our Choice Awards, with, of course, with a legit panelist, with a legit judge, and lastly, creating a new experience on enjoying jazz festival virtually through Jazz Goes to Campus virtual festival. And this is what I'm gonna discuss even more in the back. Next. So let's talk before this all happens, before this year's grand theme, Rediscover Your Jazz Passion. Let's take a look on the previous Jazz Goes to Campus events. This is what we call the Jazz Goes to Campus family. This is for me, this is the most beautiful thing that I think as a leader would like to see, gathering in one space and just sharing the thoughts and the progress of each other. And we haven't gotten to this point because we haven't gotten the chance to be able to meet up again pre-COVID. but we have done some virtual plenary meetings. But our committee consists of 298 committed university students, and they are every bit of one of them really are willing to contribute to the success of Jazz Goes to Campus. And we are the 12 of us, the managing executives, are very thankful for that and very blessed to be able to lead this kind of people. This is the photo from last year. And our programs from last year, the 42nd Jazz Goes to Campus programs, we have JKTC opening and press conference, our JKTC competition. I'm sorry beforehand, there's an azan. Okay, maybe we'll continue. For the Jazz Goes to Campus opening and press conference, it's a kickoff because every year we say that November is our month. November is like JGTSS month. It starts off in the first week with the opening and press conference, and then it straight continues to our competition, inviting the young talents or maybe the band that doesn't just form, and then maybe we like to play jazz, and maybe let's start testing ourselves in front of our judge. There's the middle one is Tesla Manaf, if anybody knows it. This guy is one of the prominent figure in jazz music right now. And we also have an event called pre-event called JGTC Roadshow. The goal of it is just spreading awareness amongst rather than other than Jakarta or Depok, because we see that that's our true goal, is to be nationwide, to be known nationwide. And maybe we start gently to Bandung. This from last year, we've partnered up with ITB to bring JGTC mini event with Virat Talisa and Tasukma attending the event to entertain the guests and to showcase what JGTC is. And on the next part is JGTC talk show and community session. The talk show speaks for themselves. Every year we come up with a theme of what we want to discuss about, maybe music in general or maybe specifically jazz, on how it develops, or maybe any other cases that surrounds the music. And on the community session, it's a bit more of a intimate session, and it's where the communities can mingle and jam together. It's not private, but we try to make it as intimate as possible. And this is what we try every single year, from March to November, to the last week of November, to the 2 weeks before exam. This is what we try for. From the opening, from the first consumer coming into the ticket booth until the last act steps down from the stage. From the fireworks and all that, this is what we committee strive for, bringing every year, is the festival itself. We've known, maybe to connect with the COVID part, we've known this can't be done this year, and we are sadly to accept the truth, accept the fact that it can't be done. But we strive to give happiness, we strive to give joy, we strive to give understanding of jazz is easy to be understand. It's easy to be enjoyed, and it doesn't need to be offline. It doesn't need to be played in a live experience. It can be in many forms, like jazz is. But it's sad to know that we cannot see the joy or the happiness, the smile on people's faces when they walk out of our festival, giving the expression of I've gained something. And this is the last year's attendance. We are largely, majority of our attendance is females. And as we can see from the satisfaction indexes, we are getting better every year. And because it is our main goal to get better. And why we set it for affordable, why we have a mindset of being an affordable festival, is because a lot of income from the university students are about less than 1 million, and our demographics are about from Jakarta and Depok mainly. Oops. And so at April, after the news came that we were going in lockdown, when it all goes kind of pessimistic and stuff, we were all sad about the news. Cher, Rifaldo, approached us on how are we gonna do things, on how are we gonna go see through things. So, and then he made this good advice on how to see the COVID pandemic situation of let's not only see on what the negative impact of it, let's also see you are a big, this is quoting Rifaldo, you are a big part of the community, you are a big part of FEB, UE, you can do many things, why not build something that sort of giving back to the communities? And that really opened our eyes. So Rifaldo, if you are gonna one day say, see Jagatese Connect, yeah, I made that. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can take the credit. And because he really opened our eyes to seeing that despite all this negative impact, despite all this disastrous, news, we can become something better. We can sort of be a figure amongst others, and it's all right. We are here to help, or we are here to stay, and we are here to survive and prevail. And that idea goes in the form of Jazz Goes to Connect. It is an online jazz event for charity, purely for charity. It's a free event, streamed live at YouTube, and we've partnered up with, and this is the screenshot from our event. That's Faris RM, that is Firata Lisa, that is Ramania Astrini, and that is Alika Islamadina. And we have successfully gathered with the help of Kita Bisa, and we are partnering up with Iluni FEBUI for the distribution of the donations. We have successfully gathered 104 million donations from our target of 100. And if I may say, if we ended right there, I think that is quite an achievement for me, because never in an experience in history that JKTS can even do that. It has a scholarship programs, but it never have been in this kind of scale. And this is all in 1 month of preparation. As we said, this is what we say in the committee, sat there. And it was really an accomplishment, and I'm really happy with the committee and how we see this, and thankful again for Cher, we and Rifaldo. So yeah, due to this pandemic, we took a big step, and we took a lot of time to think on how we can manage to run this festival. We made a lot of plans, like we made a lot of scenarios. From that February to March, we've done the preparation with our umbrella academy, the BAM, the student committees, the student executives, and it's already been done and ready to implement. But then this corona pandemic, so that means we need to really re-strategize, reconceptualize all of our what we've planned for 2 months, and that takes quite some time because we don't have a benchmark. We've never been able to make a virtual festival, and I will discuss about that more later. But this year, Jazz Goes to Campus is gonna be a virtual festival. We're bringing the oldest and the most celebrated jazz festival in Indonesia virtually, with targeted over 10,000 audience and 20 plus hours of streaming time. And it's gonna be 2 days. It's in February 13th and 14th of 2021. And this is our benchmark. As we know, the crisis, this as same as like crisis that we've undergo was in 1998, but in 1999. But as we know that there is no Jagatese at that year, so that's not our benchmark. Hopefully, our benchmark is We the Fest and Synchronized Festival, as always, because they are the prominent figures of festival, of being the big festival. When like festival, it was I may say it was like September. It was September. They did a virtual home edition, and they made it in their own website, free as charge, with international artists and such, and big names, still with big names. But I got the chance. Me and my vice got the chance to speak with the program director of Synchronized Festival, Kiki Aulia atau Kak Ucup, and he quoted this in Indonesia, kita nggak bisa bikin seperti biasa synchronized fest. Maka dari itu perspektif adalah bagaimana di kondisi seperti ini, in this kind of pandemic, kita synchronized fest tetap bisa menjadi spotlight untuk tahun-tahun berikutnya. That's the main point that I underline in the meeting with him, is that their mindset is now about making synchronized like last year or making it as what people remembered, but he wants to make synchronized as what people will remember. It will, like, due to this pandemic, he wants people to think, wow, due to this pandemic, synchronized is still like this. It's still gaining a lot of like hype, and that's our perspective evolve into something. How we see is like that, is how we become a spotlight this year, still become a spotlight, still become a news that is people talking about. And so yeah, and so this year for our grand theme, we garnered the theme of rediscover jazz expression. We know that jazz is evolving, it has many colors, many things, and we want people to at least just be open-minded about jazz. It's not as hard or as old as you may think. It's enjoyable. It's very beautiful, and even me, as we may say, a young kid, knows that it's an enjoyable music. It's easily enjoyable. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to know the arrangement or the composing part of jazz, but just by feeling it or just listening into it, you can discover jazz and maybe discover your own types of jazz. And that is what we aim to this year. And this is our timeline for our events. And now we'll get very specifically for some events in the later slides. But we have a new program that's called Jakarta Spotlight. It is held in October 2020 until November last month. And we also have Jakarta Intimate. It's a recurring event from last year, because we see that this is a very good event, a very good program, and I will discuss it later. And Jakarta Community. So from that community night that we've run every year, we've developed it and we've improved it. We made it as a form of a session, meaning that it's going to be a YouTube video that is going to be streamed live, and it showcases the community that we chose and maybe get to know them better in an interview. So yeah, and then there's an opening and press conference that is going to be held in Loket, our partner ticketing partner, and that's on January 2021. And the competition is also going to be in January 2021. The same goes with the community session. We try to implement it as a form of virtual or online. So we made it as a submission, and then the top finalists will be streamed live at our Jagatese YouTube channel. And on January 2021, there will be a Jagatese Showcase session. This is also a new improvement, a new program that we have made this year. It is about showcasing talents, or showcasing just this could be jazz, just ini juga jazz loh, like that, and just saying that be open-minded. This is try to feel this kind of music. It's good. And on our D-Day, we'll have two figures of events. That is, of course, the Jakarta Virtual Festival, that is in 13 and 14 of February 2021. And it will have the Jakarta Choice Awards on the 14th February. And this is what I've said before, Jakarta Spotlight. We've known that coming from that perspective again of we can do even more for the community, as we've provided a stage to introduce these young talents to this less known, like even me, I don't even know, like there's a lot of people that outstands me, that wows me every time I open up this tag Jakarta Spotlight. There's a lot of people that is really good. And take this for example, Benny Apari, I think he's only like 9 years old maybe, and he can play a lot of instruments and really good at it. And this is also a very talented musician, really well done. And that is the main objective of this spotlight, being seeing people is really on their social medias all the time because they don't have any many things to do. So maybe giving them contents to maybe appreciate is something of a good thing that we can do. So this is the outcome of it. And this is the thing that we've continued from our last year is intimate session, because it is also last year, because it is also a YouTube in the form of a YouTube video. So it's never been a quite boundaries or a roadblock, because maybe seeing the artist or maybe interviewing them face to face is kind of hard, because we can see the Monita Tahalea was done from a Zoom meeting, and we made it as a form of video that is publicized in Instagram and our YouTube channel, and you can still check it out in our Instagram and YouTube. So I actually like to ask my fellow colleagues of managing executives, my other 11 managing executives, on how we run things. Is that, do we want to survive or do you want to prevail? Do we want to survive by people thinking that, wow, JKTC bisa jalan juga pas COVID ya? Or do you want to prevail by being, even in COVID, JKTC can be a spotlight. They can be something that people can remember. Maybe that's the most important thing for me regarding how we see things, the point of view of how leaders maybe see things on how they run an event, is how big of the event you want, how big of an opportunity you want to seize, even though there's a lot of boundaries, a lot of blockage, a lot of, well, this disastrous times. But to be able to motivate, to be able to stay cohesive with your team, I think that's the most important thing about being a leader. And to have that slight of image of like, we can do this, and to being able to trust every single one of your committee. I think that what makes a leader a good leader for me. And regarding the impacts and negative impacts and how we manage it, and how our workflow has transformed from the impact of like an effective communication flow, we are supported by a program called Microsoft Teams, like any other corporation maybe uses. And of course, we made a line group for our main integrated communication for between our executive boards and our badan pengurus harian, ya, and control internal. And the other impacts are lack of experience in virtual programs. I've said before that we've never been through like this. We never made an online event live. So how we manage it is we research, we provide benchmark. That's why we still make it an virtual event. Maybe some might say that, well, your event is gonna be in February. I think that Corona will die down. Well, saying that when the news came first in March, we also think of that way. We were still optimistic that we can run an offline festival in November. But the thing is about us is that we are risk takers, but that is a very risky move to put other people's life at risk also. We need a benchmark that is like, maybe when say Synchronize runs an offline festival, maybe we can study from them and maybe we can implement, are we gonna be able to do something like that? But festival as big as We The Fest and Synchronize also isn't ready to take that risk. They changed their perspective, and at that point we also changed our perspective on how we're gonna make this work, how we're gonna make this still booming. And that's how we manage on the lack of experience. And there's a less sense of belonging, of course, in IC maybe also, and Ensure also have experienced this. Like we are separated, we haven't gotten the chance to speak face to face. Me personally, I love speaking to people, I love meeting people, I love talking to them. And this is a really down. I think this is the most impactful negative impact for me, because as a person, I like to see who are committed, who are committed in my committee, that is really want to work hard for this, for the festival that I love. But we still managed to hold the virtual plenary meetings and virtual team buildings. We don't recommend them to do offline because, yeah, well, this COVID disaster. And there's also an impact of changes of the job description. A lot of our divisions have really been stagnant on what will they do, uh, what can they do. So we managed to, well, adjust the community's task, or maybe divide the community's task, that make it even more diversified for other division two. And we also made a lot of new prevents that maybe they can collaborate or they can cooperate with other divisions. And it surrounds really on the internal perspective as how can you experience being in this committee like I've experienced it 2 years ago. And that is something I try for, giving them the staff experience or the BPH experience. And it is said that, it's really sad that it must have gone this way. On the external part, COVID-19 have made it very full of uncertainty and very full of changes. Even the FEB UI's deacon and on the officer parts also has really have a really tight on perizinan, and really hard for us to be able to make an event on campus. So we manage it by preparing a lot of multiple plans for mitigation very quickly. And of course, Faldo also stated this, and Hukom also stated the changes of sponsor trend is really, really upsetting. And it's really hard to gain sponsor even for a music event, regarding the awareness that we can attain for them. So we did an adjustment on our sponsor package, and then the need of implementing a multiple safety and health protocols. Even though we're running at a virtual festival, of course we're gonna interact with the artists, and we're gonna interact with a lot of stakeholders, and of course we're gonna make it in a venue that is safety protocol. That there is safety protocols, and have cooperate with protocol partners and stakeholders. So that is in the standard of bylaw. And the next part of the impact is the less media publication, knowing that we only utilize our social media as a way of publicizing our events or publicizing, getting awareness, and as a platform for our events. And the reduced source of financing. And all of this have become a really sad truth that the concept as needs to be, I may say, our concept, financially speaking, is 1/3 of what we usually do. And we have adjusted the budgeting as well as and how we get through it. So next, this is how my father used to say that it is a bad things, it is a bad times that we are experiencing, but we need to see the positive things about it also. By implementing this new concept, I can say we are the first Jazz Goes to Campus to ever implement it, a virtual festival. And I'm not wrong about that. That's factual. And with this new concept, we can reach a broader audience, not only from Jabodetabek area, people from Sumatra, Kalimantan, Papua, and I hope they can it reaches there, and they can watch it online and live as like any other audience this last few weeks and this last past years. Because one of the main reasons that people maybe think about if they wanted to buy the tickets or not is that it's far away, maybe in Depok and the faculty, and it's really cramped because it's the faculty of economics and business. But there's one of also the reason it is in the campus. We feel the vibe, we feel the nuance. And also have Rivaldo and also Castella mentioned before that how the nuance and how the vibe of a music festival is really felt in an online experience, where the offline you can really feel the music really goes through your the air around you. And maybe for us, the experience that we are aiming is for the campus experience. We aims to give that campus vibe, but also that jazzy vibe. Same goes for this online. We try to get the venue to still be the Faculty of Economics campus ground. We wanted to be able to make the live concert there, so that the background of the artist performing is still the campus. And I hope that gives a sentimental aspects for the audience. Yeah, and it boosts our creativity in that way, and it boosts our innovation and how we can make things. We can disperse. Maybe before we think about November is our month, but now we think about how can we always make people remember about Jagatese. How can we build the hype every week, every month? Like, we put the pre-event really far away from each other, so that, well, we're still here. Don't ever forget about us. Maybe that is how we see things. And the last thing about the positive aspect is room for growth and learning new things. I think that is what Hukom and Faldo also hopefully gain, because this is really a good challenge for us going into the real life. Maybe Faldo already in a good in the real life. Maybe for me and Hukom is still 1 year or 2 year to go, and maybe it's a good experience for us. And it is still coming. We are still waiting for it too, and I hope you are also waiting for it. We are still striving to get that vision, to get that goal, to aim for the highest dreams, to strive for our dreams of having this festival, this 2-day festival that is filled with joyous music and just happiness. And we still strive that. And I think every leader should also have to feel that way, that you are still striving for something, even though maybe it's not what you planned for, but remember what you are doing it for. I'm doing it for, so that Jazz Goes to Campus can be a spotlight this year, even though this pandemic happens. I don't want to see it as yang penting ada. I want to see it as, wow, it's still there and it's still prevailing any other boundaries, any other roadblocks that we may have. It doesn't seem to phase us. We still want to run this festival as committed as we are in March. And I'm blessed to say that every other committee, the second layer and the third layers, are also feeling that way and also thinking that way. Maybe that's it from me. I don't know if that's long or short, but thank you again for Castella and my other colleagues for this chance. And yeah, that's from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Raja, for sharing your experience. So from Hukom and Raja's sharing today, I think we can highlight two things. The first one is innovation, because both ICMSS and JGTC have created new programs during this pandemic, such as the Blue Talks for ICMSS and also the JGTC Connect, as well as JGTC Spotlight, as well as JGTC Intimate that takes in a new form this year. And also, I noticed that there is actually an opportunity during this pandemic in which you can get more audience. And since people are spending more time with their gadgets, you can also have higher reach for both of these programs. So I think I'm very glad to say that student organizations can remain optimistic during this hard time. And it's glad that we can discuss that point today. So moving on to the question and answer session, we have a question here from Michael Pangestu. who asked, as we are approaching a period of reopening and recovery, what are the opportunities that student organizations must keep track of? And what are the strategies to utilize this recovery period? I think Faldo would be best to answer this question. Faldo, would you mind to share your insight on this?
Yeah, sure. So here's the thing. What actually you need to take a look, Michael, is the first one is your campus regulation. Here's what I say. What I would like to say is, even let's say the best scenario is we can get the vaccine on January, right? But your campus regulations still cannot allow you to make any event, so you cannot do it. So what? Okay, you see the opportunities. You don't need to consult with your team first. To whom you need to consult first? To your university officials, right? So that's kind of thing you need to keep the track of, right? The second one, let's talk this into the into the journey perspective. Second, if the university official, okay, they say that if in January you already get vaccinated, then if your event will be running on around March, you can do it. Let's say they see the kind of things. What you need to do, it's a simple thing. It's a market sizing. I would say this methodology where you try to depict and to size. For example, let's say talk about Raja, right? He need to shift it into the offline, and you need also to make sure that will the number of the people that coming at the offline event that you will make on March will be high. Otherwise, okay, maybe there will be a lot of money that you already gained from online. But the thing is, the hypes, right? The nuance. Or in ICMS's perspective, it's more to the delegation, right? So it's more talking about the market sizing. Try to size the audience. That's what most important, and also the revenue cost benefit analysis, right? And the third one, actually, how you can. It's not just about shifting, but here are what I tell you. So, but I think there are a lot of economists here. There is Stella, Priscilla, and I think you guys also can add. The thing is, in a company where I'm talking here is a company best perspective, they already try to to prepare themselves to do rebound, right, from the ashes. They already be ready to rising from the ashes. So their budget also will they will try to increase it, even on the CSR program. All right, so how actually you guys can take this opportunity is it's not again by talking about the COVID-19, right? But you talk directly to them how actually your event can get the money from the let's say some company A, and you also can give the benefit from the company A. Not for, here's the thing, not they will not care about the name, the brand, and anything. You know what they care about? They care about how actually, because many of the FMCG companies, usually where FMCG companies, they already prepare for a new food, the new product, you know what I mean, right? So what actually you need to prepare of, give them some space. Is it for them to market their new product? Is it for them to, it's not just their names to be put, but their new product to be introduced. And you are, as the media, maybe their first product can be launched at Just Goes to Campus at February, at the Valentine's. There are a lot of, so that kind of things you need to be prepared of. So that I think what I can say the most highlighted opportunity, and the steps you can do it is, try to reshift again your proposal. It's not just talking, you can get the space of the ABCD, but let's say you can workshop, you can get a space, let's say a band name, let's say for Tulus in association with, let's say there's a new product from Coca-Cola, maybe Coca-Cola or whatever it is, you know what I mean, right? That's how you can introduce their product. That actually one of the greatest things that I can share today.
Thank you very much, Faldo. So as we are eventually coming back to the normal situation, as Faldo said, we will have to reshift again, and that means we'll have to do the cost and benefit analysis again, market sizes again. So, but then, you know, we should stay optimistic, and if we have gone through the worst situation before, then getting better, it be much easier for us to go through that. So I'd like to thank all the speakers here today for the amazing sharing session. I would like to have more Q&As, but then, you know, I wish we could have more time for that. But I've been enjoying the session so much, and I've learned a lot of things as well. If the audience here has any questions for either of the three speakers, please feel free to reach them individually. We have Faldo, Raja, and Hukom available on their, at least Instagram here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
To close our session today, I would like to ask each of the speakers here to give one final sentence, to give a message to our friends here who are trying to maximize their learning during this pandemic. I would like perhaps start first with Raja, going to Hukom, and lastly Faldo, if I may. Raja, feel free to give your closing sentence.
Okay, sure. Maybe from that final that slide that speaking of survive and prevail, as a leader, let's us think about how that we can be as pessimistic as possible, but seeing on a realistic point of view also. It's hard times that we are going through, but there's still a lot of positive things that can happen, and we don't have to shy away from those impacts.
All right. Thank you very much, Raja. Stay optimistic. Don't shy away from the impacts. A very positive message. Hukom?
Okay. I think there's a quote that can sum up what we've experienced. A poet called named Dylan, he said that we should rage against the dying of the light. I think we faced a lot of adversity in 2020, but I do hope that every challenges that we faced in this year can develop every single one of us to become more resilient, to be more aware of what we can do, to be more aware of who we are, and from that develop ourselves and continue learning, continue inspiring others, and continue giving back to others who need it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Hukom. I do agree with you. That challenge inspires us to grow. Lastly, Faldo?
Yeah, what I would like to say to every one of us is, as a leader, you need the precision of thought. That, I think, one of the most critical things. The second one is the economy of expression. Here's, I think, what not many of the leaders ever heard about this economy of expression. Economy of expression is talking more about how actually you can, as a leader, you can vision the vision and mission from the institution or organization to your juniors, to your committees and stuffs through your expression. Whether it can be the motivational talks, whether it can be, personal engagement. What most important thing about economic expression is by expressing it, by leading by examples. And I absolutely, feel amazed by what Raja and Hukom did. Specifically, I can say to Raja how he can shift it, the Just Goes to Campus, and I'm so proud of him because he is able, to maintain the quality of the Just meaning itself to some amazing ways. And the last but not least, I always talk this to everyone is what I learned from Jesuit education, where you need to focus on your commitment, conscience, competence, and compassion that can keep you as a good leader, make you as a rock solid leader. And last but not least, in this kind of situation, I learned a lot about you need to put aside your personal interest and keep serving the society. And I think what most important is try to decide not for your temporary desire, but for your purpose, for something bigger than us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Faldo. That's a very meaningful messages for not only leaders, but also like every one of us to affect our surroundings by giving example to them. It all starts from us. Thank you very much, Faldo. That was the end of our webinar for today. Before giving the screen back to MC, I would like to again remind all the audiences to practice 3M, memakai masker, mencuci tangan, dan menjaga jarak, serta menjauhi kerumunan, wear your mask, wash your hands properly, and maintain safe distance. With that, I give the screen to you, Putri.
Thank you, Stella, and thank you to our speakers, Faldo, Hukum, and Raja, for sharing your insights. I'm sure that everyone here has learned a lot from you. And from today's session, I would also like to remind everyone, for those who are interested to getting the e-certificate, please fill out the post survey events. You can find it in the links in the chat, or also via the links that we'll send through the email later. So yeah, I think with that, I'd like to close the event and thank all the speakers as well. And thank you, Stella, for moderating the events too. I hope this has been a great session for everyone. And we'll see everyone again in our next webinar for the COVID-19 webinar series. See you and have a good afternoon. Bye.
Have a good afternoon. Thank you, Priscilla.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Everyone.
Bye.